What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the zero build meta for the final week of Fortnite OG. So we recently had the Season 9 and X update. This changed the loot pool quite a bit and likely is going to change the meta in zero build. As always, if you guys do find this video helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what your favorite loadout is right now. So the first thing we're going to have to talk about is going to be that the drum shotgun was unvaulted. And pretty much any time this shotgun is in the game, it's kind of like a controversial weapon. It's a very impactful weapon, especially in zero build. And last time it was in the game in Chapter 4, Season 3, I didn't really care for it. I didn't think it was very good. But that was mainly because of the Havoc pump and the explosive repeater rifle combo. You could output a lot of damage very quickly, and the Havoc pump was pretty forgivable because it had a lot of body damage. It was pretty easy to get high rarity pumps because of the combat caches. And the explosive repeater also was very forgivable because it just did explosive damage. You could also easily shockwave yourself out of range from the drum shotty. But this season, I think the drum shotty is going to be a lot better because the shotguns aren't as good and it's much more difficult to get a high rarity shotgun. Whereas like the drum shotty, rarity is not the biggest deal. Like, sure, you would like to have the higher rarity, but it's not like a ridiculously high damage weapon anyways. Its value just comes from being incredibly easy to use and having a solid fire rate. And it does that regardless of which version you have, which, like, sure, if you have a gold pump and you hit a perfect 207 headshot, you can definitely outplay the drum shotty user. But not only does that require you having a high rarity pump shotgun, which is pretty difficult to get in Fortnite OG, but it also requires you to hit a perfect shot. Whereas like the drum shotty player, they can just, be near you, hold the shoot button, and it's very easy to get kills with this weapon. So I think the drum shotty is likely going to be the best option for a lot of players in zero build. If you get like a purple or gold pump or a purple and gold tack, I could see taking that instead of the drum shotty. But as far as white to blue goes, I think the drum shotty is, again, going to be the best option for most players in zero build. Very high skill players or very consistent players might prefer the pump. But even then, the drum shotty is very good. It's very easy to use, and you put out so much pressure in a fight versus your opponent, and you don't need to worry about a follow-up weapon or anything like that, where like Pump Deagle can be incredibly good, but it requires the user to be, very perfect. If you miss a shot with either weapon or you mess up your timing, you're probably going to lose the fight. And I feel like the drum shotty user, how much pressure they put in the fight also makes it harder for the pump player to perform. So again, for most players, I think the drum shotty is probably going to be the way to go in zero build for the remainder of this season. This update also added the jetpack back into the game, and this is something that pairs very well with the drum shotgun. And we've seen it in the past in Chapter 3, Season 2, when zero build was first added. Jetpack drum shotty was the meta for a lot of that season, but especially towards the end of that season, jetpack drum shotty was just the way to go. And again, this is just another very easy combo because if you're using something like the pump or even the tack, it's more inconvenient to just be a nuisance jetpacking around because you also have to worry about, your own aim and hitting your own shots. Whereas the jetpack and the drum shotty combo very well because it isn't that hard to hit shots with the drum shotgun. It's very forgiving if you do miss a few shots. You're just going to, jetpack around, move around left to right. The strafe speed on it is very good. And it doesn't matter that you're potentially throwing your own aim off because, again, you're using the drum shotty, which is very forgiving. And that's another reason why I think, it's better to use the drum shotty because it pairs well with the jetpack. And when using jetpack drum shotgun together, you're able to easily throw your opponent's aim off with your left to right strafe, but also like your vertical ability kind of jumping over them or hovering above them makes it very hard for the opponent to track you. Again, to reiterate, you don't really have to worry about messing yourself up because the drum shotgun is so easy to use. So I think you definitely want to use, if you just want to get easy wins right now, jetpack drum shotty. That leaves us with 3 other item slots. Whatever heals you want is fine. I've been taking bigs more often than minis this season just because of like the scarcity of heals. And this is the first season I've ever really done that. I can't remember a time in the past where I was like consistently taking bigs over minis, but a lot of time this season, if I'm able to get 3 big pots, I'm happy to carry them just because, like I said, how scarce it is to get heals and often how infrequent people are max HP endgame. Just having full health in an endgame can be a huge advantage for you because not everybody is going to be 100 all the time. That's one of the key differences I feel like between Fortnite OG and the rest of Chapter 4 is heals were so common before, and high quality heals were pretty common in terms of like there was set ways to get them, like the combat caches, the vault, or island. So a lot of players you would run into, not only would they have those good heals, but they would often be full HP. And so it wasn't really as much of an advantage to be full HP. You were just all neutral. Whereas this season, it's harder to be full HP. So I like to carry big pots just for that reason. You can also top off if you kind of trade a few AR shots. Chug Splash were added in the Season 9 and X update as well. So they're back in the game. But it's much harder to get them than it was in chapters like 2, 3, and 4 because there's no coolers on the map. A lot of times you would get your splash from coolers. If you found them at a chest, that'd be great. But like, the coolers just added an extra avenue for you to be able to get Chug Splash consistently, and there are no coolers this season that drop Splash, so you have to get, your 3 to get a full stack just from normal looting. And if you guys have played Fortnite OG, it's rough to get. So if I'm happy to get Chug Splash if I find enough to carry them, but oftentimes I feel like I've been taking big pots for most of this season. And that leaves us with 2 more slots. As far as ARs go, I've been preferring the heavy for a lot of zero build. I was excited for the infantry rifle to come in the Season 9 and X update, but I really didn't enjoy it, and it was very, I don't want to say one-dimensional, but it wasn't as versatile as the heavy AR, and I feel like that really matters if you're going to be using the drum shotty because of how bad the range on it is. If you're just going to be using 2 guns, I kind of valued the spray of the heavy kind of more than I thought I would, but also if I find a gold or purple scar, I'm definitely willing to take that. The way I look at the ARs this season is like white to blue. The heavy is definitely my favorite for zero build for sure. It's just worked best for me since it was added. But once it's purple and gold, I'm down to use the scar. I'm down to use a normal AR if I have to as well. It's not terrible, but I feel like the white to blue heavy is my favorite of the white to blue ARs. When it comes to purple and gold, I would take a purple and gold scar over a blue heavy. And then also the purple and gold heavy AR is fine as well. So whatever I'm able to get purple and gold, I'm happy for. But when it comes to white to blue, which is what you're going to be using for most of the time in game, I think that's the way to go. And now we have one more slot, and this is kind of up to you. There's a lot of different options here. If you like sniping, you could run a sniper in this slot. I like running extra mobility, so whether I'm able to get a grappler or shockwaves, just depending on whichever I'm able to find more of in that game, I'll kind of take that to combine with my jetpack. So if I find several spawns of shockwaves, I'll go jetpack shockwaves, but oftentimes that's more inconvenient than just finding one grappler. So I have been running grappler and jetpack a decent amount, and it does work pretty well. You have the grappler to get around the map and push people, and then once you get on them, or once you're in a fight, you have the jetpack to kind of strafe around, get verticality, create angles that are awkward for your opponents, and just hover around and be a nuisance is the best way to describe it. That's what you can do with the jetpack. And then also things like explosives are incredibly good this season if you like using the RPG. Jetpack is a solid combo, and it's very easy to make work. You just jetpack up, shoot the RPG down. That is another value of the jetpack, is if you are able to kind of get, mid to high in a fight, you can potentially avoid RPG splash damage. So not only do you make yourself harder target to hit in the close range like shotgun spray fight, but also you potentially avoid any explosives that your opponents might be using. So explosives can go in this last slot. The proximity launcher was added in the update, and it is very good. You can use it to flush people out of cover or wherever you don't want them to be. And I feel like it really throws people off when they're behind cover. Maybe you opened up with some AR tags on them, they go behind cover, and then they start getting blasted from a proximity launcher that's blowing up right next to them, and then they just kind of panic and run out. So that last slot is really up to you, but I've been using double mobility with either the shockwaves or the grappler combined with the jetpack. So just a short recap of what I think the best loadout is to get easy wins in the final update of Fortnite OG. It's going to be drum shotgun, heavy AR, your choice of heals. It's really going to depend what you get in the given match. Jetpack, grappler, shockwaves. That's what I would like to use. Again, the other shotguns can be good. It's not like the drum shotty is the only one you can use, but the drum shotty is just the easiest, and it kind of goes very well with the jetpack playstyle. And the higher rarity shotguns that are going to have a better chance at outplaying the drum shotty aren't prevalent enough to really make it like something you can consistently get every game. And I feel like if you guys have been playing in Fortnite OG throughout the course of the season, you're well aware of how like difficult it can be to get high rarity loot. But that is going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, what you like to run in the final update of Fortnite OG. Give it a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.